Hello students, today let us see the topic, that is bar magnet as an equivalent solenoid. In this we are going to find out the axial field strength of a solenoid which is equivalent to the experimental data of a bar magnet. Okay, so before going to do this derivation, this is one part, and the second part is dipole in a uniform magnetic field. These two derivation we are going to see. Now coming to this derivation, when you keep a bar magnet, you take a bar magnet, then what you find? Always there will be close lines of force that is moving from north to south outside, and inside it is from south to north. Now take the solenoid. Solenoid, you know, it is nothing but your coils is wrapped properly in a iron core. Then that will called as the your solenoid. Now the solenoid also behaves as a bar magnet. The one side of it behaves as a one pole, other side also behaves as another pole. Second thing, like a bar magnet, if you break it into two equal parts, now it will be behave as a small magnet with the lesser magnetic strength. Same way, if you cut your solenoid into two pieces, similarly it will also behave as a two small bar magnet. How the way they have the field strength, it also has the same way field strength. Now coming to third part, if you take a magnetic needle, kept it near a bar magnet, it will start deflect. Similarly, if you do it with a solenoid, same way also it will start to show deflection. So hence there is analogy between the bar magnet and your solenoid. For that reason, now we are going to find out the derivation of what is the axial field strength of a solenoid, which is already determined practically in case of your bar magnet. Now let us see whether they are same or not. Now let us start. So you are taking a solenoid. Let this be my solenoid. Now this is the axial line. So for example, you want to find out what is my axial magnetic field strength at this point P. Let this distance be from the origin, let it be R. And you want to find out here a small elemental length you are taking from it. Let it be dx, and the dx let it be at a distance x from the origin. This is your origin. Okay, and the radius of this solenoid let it be A. And what is the length of this solenoid? Let it be 2L total. So as it is the origin, so definitely it will be plus L, this will be minus L. Okay, so now before going for deriving what is the magnetic field strength on the axial point, I hope you remember that every circular current coil we are finding the magnetic field strength, that is also behaving as a magnet. So if there is a circulating current in a closed loop, that also behaves as a magnet, and for that we already find out the magnetic field strength B. Hope you remember. Just I am giving you small hint. We have taken a circular loop, and at a distance x, this is point P, at a distance x we are finding the magnetic field strength, and the radius of this circular coil is R. Do you remember what is the magnetic field strength we have calculated? B equal to mu naught I R square divided by 2 whole into x square plus R square to the power 3 by 2. Hope you remember this. Magnetic field strength of a circular coil at a axial point P, which is at a distance x from the center of the circle. This is the derivation we did. Now the same we are going to apply here, because we are considering in physics always any derivation will not calculate it directly. First we will find it for small elemental length or small elemental area, then we will do the whole integration based on the limit. Fine. So hence this part is equivalent to this part. We can consider this as a same circular path. Now if we integrate over this whole length of minus L to plus L, then it will give the total magnetic strength at this point P. Fine. Only the thing is, what's the notations we have taken there and here is different. We'll change accordingly. Here what is the radius? R. Here it is A. So we'll change R by A. Now here X is the distance. But here what is our distance? We are going to find at point P due to this elemental length. So this elemental length, now what is this distance? It is nothing but total is from the center R. This is X. So it is X minus R. Clear? That's what we are going to substitute it. Now let us do it. So what is our magnetic field now? I. R is replaced by A square. Now this circuit is not required. Now what is my X? Instead of X what I will write? Mu naught I A square. Let it be R. So that comparison will be easy. Then 2 whole and 2. Now my X is X minus R whole square plus R is the radius. Here A is the radius. So A square whole to the power 3 by 2. Clear? Here we are going to do it. This is small part. So what it will do? Write it as dB. Yes or no? So we are doing with respect to x. Hence dx. Clear? Now here if you see, always your x, what you have taken this. Sorry, this is R minus x, not x minus R. R minus x. R minus x. Your R is always much greater than x. That much large distance you are taking. Second, what is the radius of the solenoid? That is also very smaller compared to the distance. So R is also much greater than A. So hence you can neglect your x and your A. Then now what is your denominator part? It is nothing but mu naught I A square divided by 2 whole and 2. Now it is R square. This is 0. So R square to the power 3 by 2 dx. That is equal to mu naught I A square divided by 2. R square into 3 by 2. So R cube. Fine. Now coming to the second part of this derivation, that is highly important, is nothing but, now we are getting this as your magnetic field for this small elemental length. Now you have to do integration in order to get my B. So B is nothing but integration of dB is nothing but, these are all terms constant. So for dx we are going to do, so mu naught I A square by 2 R cube. Do the integration of dx. What is the limit from the origin? It is minus L to plus L, hence 2L. So minus L to L. So mu naught I A square divided by 2 R cube. Now integration, if you do x, substitute the value L, minus of minus L, it will be 2L. So these 2 cancelled. Clear? So up to now you are getting this derivation. Now can I write it as my B equal to, but I am getting mu naught I A square L by R cube. Clear? This is what I am getting as magnetic field. Now one more important concept is your magnetic moment, you know, M equal to NIA. Here we are considering it for a small elemental length, but a solenoid always consists of n number of terms. So can I multiply it here? So n mu naught I A square L by R cube. Clear? So hence my M is NIA. Now n is nothing but the number of turns, I is the amount of current, A is nothing but the area vector. So now what is the area here? It is like a cylindrical shape. So area will be pi R square H. So this area is nothing but pi. What is my R is A square. What is my h? That is length 2l. Clear? So now what is my magnetic moment is n 2 pi n I a square. Yes or no? This is my magnetic moment. I want to express my magnetic field strength in terms of magnetic moment. Now you can check n is present, I is present, a square is present. So n present, I present, a square. Only 2 pi is absent. So can I multiply and divide by 2 pi? If I multiply by 2 pi, now in the numerator, can I write it as mu naught? Now my whole term, that is 2 pi n I a square divided by 2 pi r cube. Now this whole is nothing but magnetic moment. Yes or no? So I'll substitute it by mu naught m by r cube, this side 2 pi. Again multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. Then what you will get? Mu naught by 4 pi 2 m by r cube. This is the magnetic field derivation. Highly important. Experimentally, when they have taken a bar magnet and at a point P they have observed what is the magnetic field strength, they found out this is the value. Now we have experimentally whatever they have found, with the help of mathematics we calculated. Now the derivation also giving the same value. Hence the bar magnet and your solenoid both are analogous to each other. Clear the concept? Now let us see the second derivation, that is dipole in a magnetic, uniform magnetic field. Now let us consider that there is a uniform magnetic field. Uniform magnetic field. And you kept a dipole, means a bar magnet, or you can say it as a magnetic needle. Yes or no? When you kept it in the magnetic field, then it will start to deflect. So let it is making an angle of theta. This is its north pole and it is its south pole. Indicate north pole separately. You know that the length is nothing but 2l. Now our target is that we are going to, as soon as this magnet is placed in the uniform magnetic field, it will experience force equally and opposite directions. Hence it creates torque. So now we are going to calculate what is that amount of torque it creates. Do you remember your 11th concept? Couple. From the couple to equal and opposite forces creates the couple. Now if it is creating an angle theta, started angular displacement, then it will create a torque. So similarly here it will experience a force in this direction, and here in this force in attraction, it is the force of a repulsion. So that will create a torque. Now you know your torque is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. Yes or no? Now what is your force in electric field? You know F equal to QE. Similarly in magnetic field, what is my force? Q is nothing but now QM. That is nothing but your pole strength. This Q is charge and he is electric field, but here it is magnetic field B. Clear? Now coming to perpendicular distance, this is the 2L. So obviously this line is your perpendicular distance. It is making angle theta. So if you resolve it, your vertical component, that is nothing but the perpendicular distance. So how much it will be? It will be 2L sin theta. Yes or no? So now can I write it as torque equal to F is replaced by QMB. So QMB into, what is my perpendicular distance? 2L sin theta. Can I write it as 2QML B sin theta? Tell me what is 2QML? It is nothing but magnetic moment. So can I write it as MB sin theta, where my M magnetic moment is nothing but 2QM into L. So my torque is nothing but, it is the cross product of the magnetic moment and the magnetic field. Clear? You know how to approach it. Similarly, we can find your potential energy. So what is our potential energy in magnetic field? That is UM. You can give the notation. It is nothing but integration of tau theta d theta. Yes or no? Now what is my tau is nothing but mv sin theta. So mv sin theta into d theta. If you do the integration, what you will get? Minus mv cos theta. Can I write it as minus m dot b? Yes or no? Now when you write minus m dot b, this is nothing but your potential energy. Do you remember? Same thing you got it in your electrostatic field. Here magnetic moment M, there electric dipole moment is P. Here it is magnetic field B, there it is electric field E. So P dot E. Yes or no? Now here three conditions arises. Theta can be 0 degree, can be 90 degree, can be 180 degree. Under these three conditions, if my theta equal to 0 degree, then what will happen to my potential energy? Cos 0 becomes 1, so minus mb. Means you will get minimum potential energy. When the energy is minimum, stability is higher. Now go for second case. When theta equal to 90 degree, what will happen to your potential energy? Cos 90, 0. So 0, it is nothing but called as completely stable, or you can say it as the position of equilibrium. Now you go for theta equal to 180 degree. Then what will happen to your UM? Cos of 180 degree minus of minus, it becomes plus. So your energy is maximum. So when energy is maximum, what will happen to the system? Higher the energy, more the instability. Lower the energy, higher the stability. So when your angle is 180 degree, your system is unstable. But when your angle is 0, the system is in the equilibrium. And when your theta is 0 degree, the energy is minimum. Okay, so these are the conditions, how on what basis you want on your application. Based on that, you should decide your angle of dipole in a uniform magnetic field. Clear to all of you? Okay students, if you like my video, give like. Otherwise, give your suggestion in the comment box. Share with your friends so that more and more they will get benefit of this knowledge. And take care. Bye bye.